Hi, and welcome to the Module 4, Informal Fallacies, or Fallacies. Fallacy, actually, there's a Latin word fallo, which means to deceive, and fallacies are essentially deceptions or ways of duping people or fooling them. And so they're a way of arguing in which you basically present information that's deceptive. And what we do is there are two types. There's what are called formal fallacies, and there's what are called informal fallacies. Formal fallacies are a technical type of fallacy, and what we're not going to deal with here, but we will come up with those later. And those are basically like the way the language is structured. You don't have a distributed middle term and some more technical aspects of just the way the argument is structured. Informal is what you'll see a lot of, and people use them a lot. And basically, these are fallacies in which people are deceptive by various methods. They use ambiguity, irrelevant information, presumption, things like that. And so they're basically deceiving people by introducing information that, like for relevancy, that'd be like an ad hominem. An ad hominem is where you attack the person rather than like their argument. The fact the person's a horrible, horrible person and nobody wants to talk to them doesn't make their argument wrong. That just makes them a horrible, horrible person with maybe a right argument. I mean, and so. I've hired attorneys before that I've thought, I'm not sure you're a good person, but you can make good arguments, right? And that doesn't. I don't think I've ever had an attorney I didn't think of as a decent human, but I'm divorced, so that's why. Anyway, and but the case is that that's why I've hired attorneys. I just kind of want to make clear of that, like, why is this guy hiring attorneys? But that's relevancy. And so, like, the other thing is, like, I mean, if you ever watch, like, sometimes, like, used to be, like, Judge Judy, and there was, like, People's Court, things like this. And, like, used to, I've not watched these shows in years, but used to, they'd be like, that's irrelevant, Your Honor, or something like that. Or, the Honor, they'd say, overruled, irrelevant, if you ever watch, like, a TV like a TV, drama, court drama type thing. And the reason is that oftentimes you're presenting information that doesn't really affect the outcome. For example, if you have an argument over and you go to like People's Court or something, or you go to like Judge Judy, and you go in there and you start talking about the fact that your roommate should really be the one paying the last month's rent or reimbursing you for something because they cheated on, or your boyfriend cheated on you with your roommate or something like that. Well, that's interesting. It's salacious. It's kind of a fun thing, and they'll oftentimes exploit that on TV because it makes for a fun argument, and it's interesting, docudrama or whatever. But the case is that it's not really relevant as to whether or not the person's liable for the rent, right? And so that's what relevance is. And so there's different types of those. There's different types of ambiguity. There's different types of presumption where you use circular reasoning, where you presume the conclusion and then create definitions and things that include the conclusion in the very thing that you're trying to prove. And so there's different types of doing this. Now, logical fallacies are very great. They're great if you're trying to win an argument or convince people of a position. You're trying to win something. But they're good for rhetoric, but not really seeking the truth. They don't reach the truth. They just make people go, I think maybe you're right. But the reason you're right is because you've argued in a way that's not really a legitimate, it's a deceptive or deceiving way. And so we try to avoid them. If you find them in other people, you point them out and you realize, hey, I can't trust this argument because it's using these deceptive methods. As far as it goes, this is a big category for the Logic Final Project, so this is a good one to begin looking at those for. So please start working on the final project after you finish this module.